content marketing implementation. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Let's talk about implementation of content marketing, because we've been talking a little bit about content marketing. What is it? What's it take to do it? How do you want to line it all up? How do you kind of define your goals with content marketing? And now we got to talk about implementation, because it really is one of the toughest things that, when it really gets down to it, is, for one thing, you got to have somebody on your team. Hopefully it's you, but if not, you're going to want to run that person through this concept of implementing, because they have to commit to a really good, solid period of time before you see any results. That's what content marketing is all about. Even if you're running paid ads and running your content through that, either way, you're really going to want to give it some time for it to catch on and for it to do what you want it to do. It all depends on really what you expect out of it. If your expectations are low, then it doesn't matter how long you do it. But if you've got very specific metrics to go by, in terms of you're looking to have this type of relationship or this type of thing come back to you, then you're going to want to run it for a while to really achieve that, because you can do it. The real thing, you got to give people time to relate with the personality, to relate with the message, to relate with the brand, everything that you're bringing out there. You got to give it time. And honestly, you ought to make it a major piece of what you're doing of ongoing marketing. You got to commit to it. I've been doing these shows. We're over 700 now, just about daily. Every once in a while we'll miss a day. But for the most part, it's been daily. And we've been doing it over 2 years now, and it's just go, 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 go. Well, almost 2 years or whatever. I've lost track of time. You do the math. So we're doing really good with it. I've really enjoyed it. There's a whole bunch of things that you don't realize until after you've been going for a while. But it all comes from committing to it. And I don't know about you, maybe you're the type of person, this is what you got to determine on your own. You got to determine whoever's going to be the one doing it, or the team that is doing it. You got to have somebody on board that's going to make sure it gets done, because until it becomes a habit, it's going to take time to do that. There's got to be someone on top of it that can make sure it gets done. If you don't have someone like that, then I'm going to talk about how you go about dealing with it. Because honestly, 90% of you out there are like me. You're not the type of person that does the same thing day after day after day after day. You got to switch it up. You got to try something new. You're impatient. You've got an attention deficit and everything else. So let's talk about how to go about doing it. This is the best way I have found of doing it. I'm going to give you three resources that have changed my life in terms of how I see everything that I do, but especially when it comes down to getting something done that I know is going to take a good chunk of time, a good 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. If I want to build something into my lifestyle, this is how I go about doing it. So yes, we're talking about content marketing, but we're also talking about how to trick yourself into doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. And I am the worst at this type of thing. Honestly, I have the toughest time being consistent on anything. And so I have to build a team around me to help me out with that, but I also have to do these steps, and I'll talk about that in a second. By the way, I just noticed I'm looking at the camera and I'm catching a view of how I look, and my eyes are all bloodshot because it looks like I've been smoking all day. In a sense, I've been outside, and it's one of these days in Oregon called a burn day. So it's a day where it's wet enough outside and the heat is low enough that everybody's out burning their piles of waste, including myself. So we're out in the country. So waste meaning, downed trees and you know, natural waste. So you put it in a big pile and you burn it, and you pay attention to it. So I've been out in the smoke all day, so that's why I look this way. It's a Sunday. This is what we do here on the show. So let's talk about what these 3 resources are. First one, The Slight Edge. This was the one that really set my whole life on this track of understanding habits. Now, I've read a whole bunch of books on habits. This was the first one that really spoke to me as to how you go about doing this and why, and the physics behind it and everything else. This is one of the first edition copies. I got this. Actually, I'm not sure if this was my actual copy or someone else, because I bought it off of a couple other people because I loved it so much, and I like passing it on to other people. 2005 when this one came out. There's been other editions that have come out since. I've got a slightly thicker edition that has extra stuff from the later ones. Great book, Slight Edge. This is it's an easy read, it's a quick read, and it really hones in on the point. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper into it and read something that's probably even better written, was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I don't have my copy right here, but Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is a great book that covers a lot of the same material and covers it from a different angle, and will really get you going. Now, if you want to say, okay, that's all fine and good, but I can't quite get a handle on this, there's one that goes directly into how to apply it into your life. It's a simple book, and it's one of those that you don't think of. You wouldn't think it with such a simple title and a simple little cover that it would do what it needs to do. But this book is amazing. It's the simplest book out of all of these. In fact, you'd go straight to it if you just want to get down to the meat. Many Habits. That's mini as in miniature. Many Habits by Stephen Guise. I think I'm saying his name correctly. Many Habits by Stephen Guise. Check out that book, and that tells you specifically how to go about putting these things into place. And it's all about starting small and just a little bit every single day, which is what I've done here. I've put these out on a regular basis. I've made it to where it kind of duplicates itself. I've got our producer, Shawnee Douglas, who helps out sending all this stuff out all over the internet and uploads it and sends it all over the place on a daily basis. You got to have a team of people. If you don't have the focus to be able to do it, do the pieces you can do and outsource the rest as best as you can. It wouldn't happen otherwise. For me, I can speak for that for sure. Now, those are the 3 books. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Get out and learn how to do these things. If you don't already know how to implement habits, find out how. You can do it. I guarantee you. If I could do it, you can do it. Guaranteed. And while you're at it, if you haven't got a copy of my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business, you can get a free copy over at amazonproofbook.com. We'll be back here tomorrow. We may be talking more about content marketing. Go and watch my other material out on content marketing. It's a big piece of the puzzle, because a whole lot of what we're doing now comes back to content marketing. That's how you go about standing out, and that's what I do. I'm the standout artist, and I'm going to help you do the same thing in your business. Once again, amazonproofbook.com. We'll be back here tomorrow night. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.